Alrighty, sorry for the longer than usual wait there. So, okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to a stream, a second day in a row. Holy shit, man. What's going on? Who am I? Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Excited to get started here. So if you did miss yesterday's stream, we're continuing more work on Tabltop, which is our board game social media app that I'm making. And yesterday we basically did a bunch of road mapping to try and get stuff lined, this long list of things lined up for our MVP. Yeah, sort of talked through a bunch of features, got I think everything planned out for a good, basically first candidate to release to you, the good people of the world, and you know, get people using it. So that's the plan today, is just to continue just start chugging through things here. I have everything in this sort of like rough order of things I, want to do. So we're gonna start going through those. So today I forgot about the ESLint thing, but we can do that real quick. Today is mostly gonna be about learning how to do tests. So I don't do a lot of testing in general, and I should. And testing is one of those things that if I don't do it now, then I never will, because it'll never be as much of a priority as anything else. But getting, I think, testing set up now is going to be helpful later. I hope, at least. At the very least, it'll be a good experience, and I can say I know how to do it somewhat. So, anyways, all that is to say that, yeah, we're going to be doing testing today for the most part. Hopefully, we can get through it. I have two cards on here, both for doing testing for the React Native part of the app and also testing for the backend server. I have a feeling the backend server stuff will be easier, but I also don't know as much what I'm going to test, so we'll figure some stuff out there. Probably just be doing a lot of research and stuff, but as always, if you have suggestions or questions about anything, please feel free to ask. Oh, I forgot to add a Twitter command. I was supposed to do that. Hold on one second. We're going to do... This is live stream production. I think I'm logged on Twitch right now. Boop, boop. Anyways, I forgot to make a command for... updates on the... I keep telling people to follow me on Twitter, and don't have a bot command for the Twitter, so now that's there, and then we should just test if that works real quick. Amazing, cool. Well, anyways, so that's there now. I made it to do, or made a note to do that, and then I forgot to do it. So great. Anyways, now that's done, we're on to actual code and such. So yesterday we didn't really get to code a lot. It was mostly just a lot of getting things sorted. So today I would like to actually code, and the testing will be coding. First things first, though, I have a... We're gonna get rid of this. I have a lot of... Sorry, I have a lot of files that I don't know what I did with. We'll deal with that later as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and commit these files. This contents.json, I don't know what that is. Anyways, so this is just this commit will add some Xcode updates. Jeez. As usual, I can't type. Cool. So add some Xcode things to the project. I'm probably just gonna stash the rest of this. I think, can I stash individual files? Oh, sorry, I did some changes to my package.json. So here, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm pretty sure I can stash individual files, at least from the command line. I just wanna make sure these get saved. I'm nearly positive you can do this. Let's look at the documentation. What's going on, Matt? I'm coding something that's the best way I can think of coding it, but also makes it basically a virus. That seems fine. Sure. Some people don't have antivirus installed. They're not going to get any, warnings about this. I don't see the problem here. What is the project you're working on? If you're able to say, obviously. Okay, so I want to push something to the... can I just specify a bunch of files? I assume I can, right? Save your local application, use stash entry, roll them back in ahead. The messages are optional. When a path spec is given to get stash push, the new stash entry records the modified states only for the files that match the path spec. The index entries and working true files are then rolled back on the state ahead only for these files too, leaving files that do not match the path spec intact. So what I need to do is so get stash push components. Right. Oh, those are untracked. I believe I have to do the -u option. Oh, it's get slash push, then -u components. Great. Okay, so get status now. I can get stash this with the message. This should be an initial fixes to tests. So I was doing some of that off stream earlier today. So that's your branch and origin master diverged. What? Oh, it's because I had a security vuln fix. That's right. That's right. Cool. I'm doing some generative art stuff, and I like to start the code that generates the image somewhere so I can tweak it later. I'm hiding the code inside the binary of the image. Oh. Yeah. I've definitely seen that, because, yeah, you can embed payloads inside of images. Are you sure you're not making a virus? That's amazing. Get found 2 vulnerabilities on the default branch. Okay. Does Yarn have an audit tool? $589 low. How do I fix that? Yarn audit help. Check for known security issues with the installed packages. Sure. These are just... Oh, here, visit this link for information about this command. I think I can just... Can I command click there? Thought I could. I don't know why that doesn't want to be a link. Alright, you're an audit. I want to fix this, right? Is there not a yarn, like... Oh, so this literally just does the audit. It doesn't do... Do I have to run yarn update then? Great, the output is a list of known issues. So like NPM has an NPM fix. Are you gonna upgrade? I don't really want to do that. Yeah, why is yarn audit fix not a thing? Okay. So as of now, there appears to be, there's no yarn audit -6, so I'm trying to figure out how to go about fixing my yarn audit errors. Trying to yarn upgrade, which has fixed some of the errors, but there's still several remaining. The solution to this problem in Yard is called selective version resolutions, which is basically defining resolutions to the transitive dependencies. That seems like a pain in the ass, yeah. Delete the version of the dependency you want to update from your yarn lock, run yarn install. Oh yeah, so I'll just remove my yarn lock and run yarn install again. Is this a bad idea? Probably. But that's why we have Git to help us, because I can just restore this if I need to. Yeah, I hope you're doing well tonight, Matt. It's Friday, which is kind of wild. Doesn't feel like it. Okay. Because I'm assuming these are mostly just dependencies of dependencies. Oh my god, the legendary left pad package. Gonna wait for this to finish. Hope it doesn't take too long. Great. Cool. So now if we do a yarn audit for low. It's just this one package. I'm not gonna worry about that for now. I think this is fine. This will stop GitHub from yelling at me, I think, right? Let's go look at the repo. Turned my thesis not too long ago. Oh, nice. Hell yeah, dude. That's exciting. Congrats. I am sure that is really nice. Oh, do I... Oh, that's why. That's because I didn't commit this. So git add yarn lock. So we're updating our lock file to fix vulns, then we can push that. Great. Now it should stop yelling at me. Hey, you found 2 vulnerabilities, but not anymore. No alerts, baby. Great. Okay, cool. That was necessary. Anyways, on to ESLint integration. So I need to make sure I do this correctly. I think this is pretty easy. Oh, ESLint is not at all what I want. ESLint, pluggable JavaScript interrupt. Right, is that what it is? Oh, linter. Duh. I'm gonna defend it in a week, but other than that, and some small homeworks, and a final, I'm done with school. Dude, truly congrats. That's fucking amazing. Anyone who goes through grad school, oh, obviously you get a grad degree. So, like, that's your reward, I guess. But, like, still, that shit's really hard, so congrats. That's amazing. Do you know what, do you have, I guess things are kind of crazy right now. I don't envy people who are graduating currently, because that seems like it'd be kind of wild. Like, do you know what you're doing? Do you have something lined up afterwards, or are you just chilling? But that's exciting, man. I bless anyone who's finally getting done with school. I bet that's very nice. Okay, so we just need to add yarn, add ESLint, and make it a dev dependency. So this will be nice because if anyone ever contributes, I'll be able to have linting stuff in the project, which will be nice. And for my own sake as well, I like things yelling at me. So I should now set up a configuration file. So ESLint init is what it says. How would you like to configure ESLint? Let's do answer questions about your style. Am I using ECMAScript features? Yes. Are you using ES6 modules? Yes. Where will your code run? Neither of these, but probably more Node. Do I use CommonJS? No. Oh, that picked browser also? Hold on. Using ES6 modules, yes. Oh, use space to select, is that why I'll put both. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't use CommonJS. Use JSX, yes. Use React, yes. I use tabs for indentation. I prefer double quotes, but I don't really care. Unix line endings. Do I require semicolons? No, I type them a lot, but what format do you want your config file to be in? JavaScript is fine. Great. And then we'll want to make sure we have a React Native plugin because I assume that's something's going on there. I had a job lined up at a commercial HVAC company, but they basically told me we're gonna hire you. But yeah, dude, I'm sorry, that really sucks. I feel like that's the case for a lot of places right now, which is really shitty, unfortunately. Someone work my art career working for that. Nice. Okay, well that's good. It's good you have something lined up then. In some ways, I am. My situation is fine, so I don't want to make it seem like it's not. But there are some days where I'm like, it would be cool to like try and, you know, I dove pretty headfirst straight into working life right after I graduated, which was because I liked my job, right? I interned there and I liked it a lot, which is why I did that. But, you know, it would have been fun to kind of give myself some time off and just relax a little bit after I graduated. But that's fine, you know, it's working out. Oh no, deprecated core.js, dang. Oh my god, the core.js messages. I don't know if anyone has followed this. This is kind of wild. So you probably have seen this message pop up during your Node installs, right? Because a bajillion libraries use core.js for polyfills and stuff. But this is like sort of the notorious line, right? Is this like the author is looking for a job. And it's like been in here forever. And a lot of people are like, has this guy ever found a job? And from what I understand, he is currently in jail, which is kind of wild. So like he hasn't contributed in a while because he's in jail. So it's kind of crazy. Like everyone knows this guy is just like the dude who's like, he's looking for a good job. Yeah, here, let me see if it pops up. Yeah, what happens when a maintainer of a JS library downloaded 26 million times a week goes to prison for killing someone with a motorbike? Core.js just found out. So in 2019, he lost an appeal to overturn an 18-month prison sentence imposed for driving his motorcycle into two pedestrians, killing one of them. And as a result, he's expected to be unavailable to update core.js. Yeah, he kind of mentioned it in a thread. And yeah. So no one really, I don't know what's happening here. GitHub apparently has processes for transferring account ownership and events of illness that apply to relatives. Forking dormant repos is also an option, noting that GitHub can potentially reposition a fork if it takes over. So there are solutions, but like it's kind of wild that like this is happening. And like I think the only reason people really know about this, right, is because everyone uses core.js, and he puts the post install message there. So like you see this shit, I literally see this shit every time I install my packages. This motherfucker's looking for a job, but he's in jail. So, anyways, it was an unneeded detour, but kind of wild. Yeah, it's awful that someone died, absolutely, but it's like it's the weirdest situation. And as far as it, like, I think there are other contributors, but like, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so, why did it, what? Okay, ESLint init decided it was gonna make a package.json file because it used npm for that. I use yarn, friend. Thanks though. Something just happened and I missed it. Yo, happy sad feels. Thanks so much for the follow. How is it going? Okay, so back to actually doing things now. So we set up ESLint, we made an init. Great, we now should have an ESLint RC file in our directory. Actually, I think we'll have, ESLint rc.js. Cool, so, yeah, I don't know if the browser thing is accurate. We're gonna look in a second, though. I'm also using it with TypeScript, so these are also things I care about. It also extends ESLint recommended. Great. It's going to turn on some of the things in the rules page. You can use configurations. I think Airbnb is like the big one that a lot of people use, but I don't really care. Okay, so let's see what they do. So the recommended ones have the check marks. So I'm just going to run through these real quick. Probably don't care a lot. Most of these are probably fine. Enforce for loop going in the right direction. I assume that's increasing. That's fine. Enforce return statements and getters. Sure, I don't really use getters a lot. Disallow using an async function as a promise executor. I didn't know you could do that, so sure. Disallow comparing against -0. Is this a thing? What? That is code like x equals -0 will pass through both +0 and -0. Hello? What? I'm so confused. Do people do this? That seems really weird. Disallow assignment operators and conditional expressions. Oh yeah, that seems fucking awful. Why would you do that? Oh, this actually catches, so this basically just catches the case if you put single equals instead of double equals, which is fine, or double equals, you should be putting triple equals probably, but anyways. Is that what that's from? I've never seen -0 before. Who's checking that, man? Wild. Okay, disallow constant expressions and conditions. Oh yeah, why would I do that? If false, yeah, that seems bad. Disallow control characters and regular expressions. What does that mean? What are control characters? Control characters are special invisible characters in ASCII range 0 through 31. These characters are rarely used in JavaScript strings. Okay, sure. I'll take your word for it on that. Almost the implementation of float has -0. Oh, interesting. Disallow the use of debugger? That's fine, because they should get removed before I push the code. Debugger is a great keyword, by the way. It doesn't really work in React Native, I don't think, but... no duplicate arguments, no duplicate conditions, sure. No duplicate keys. No duplicate case labels. What is that? Oh, like switch cases. Okay. Yep. Disallow empty block statements, sure. Empty character classes. Disallow reassigning exceptions and catch clauses. Sure, yeah. Disallow unnecessary parentheses. I don't know how I feel about this rule. Does this rule have an auto fixer? Oh, okay, yeah. So the other icon here is that anything with this has an auto fixer. So ESLint can just fix the things for you. I'm fine with turning no extra parens on. I don't really care that much. Disallow multiple spaces in regular expressions. Interesting, okay. No, disallow temple literal. I think these are all fine. Best practices, okay. Enforce getter and setter pairs. Okay, I'm not really been doing a lot of classes stuff, so I don't care about that. Enforce return statements and callbacks or array methods. That's like a good idea, right? Oh, yeah, but this is mostly fine, right? Because most of the time if you have this, you're going to be using arrow functions. So you can just do... Yeah, I probably don't need that. I don't run into bugs with that almost ever. Can I not use... How do I get it to not use var? Is that a thing already? No var? Require disallow strict mode directives. Should I use strict mode? Is strict mode helpful? I don't know if I feel like once upon a time I used strict mode, but like I couldn't even tell you what it does, I don't think. But let's look, actually, I'm interested. JS use strict. I mean, strict mode's probably fine. Can I just use strict mode with TypeScript though? Eliminate some JavaScript silent errors by changing them to throw errors. Fixes mistakes that make it difficult for JavaScript engines to perform optimizations. Prohibits some syntax likely to be defined in future versions. Okay, can I just do... Because, like, I have... I have strict mode on for... Parse in strict mode and emit use strict for each source file. So I'm doing that then, presumably, right? I assume this... Yeah, so that's fine. I don't need to worry about that. Okay, no Node.js and CommonJS. Stylistic issues. I don't really care about any of this. Oh, I also have prettier for this is the other thing. These rules relate to ES6, also known as 20... Okay. Deprecated, removed. Okay, so the other thing I need to do is user guide with formatters. So I'm using prettier, so I need to make sure that prettier and ESLint don't step on each other's toes. Let me search for prettier. I guess it might be on. I didn't mean to put a quotation mark there. Integrating with linters. Great. ESLint config prettier is a config that disables rules that conflict with prettier. Add it to your dev dependencies, then extend it with your ESLint configuration. Make sure to put it last and the extends array. Okay, cool. That's exactly what I wanted. Oof. Can I just copy that? Cool. So then this should be darn add, and we're gonna go ahead and add this. And then we have to do the extends. This should be an array now. And then, no, it just extends prettier. Great, and that's formatted as well. Use ESLint to run prettier. ESLint plugin prettier is a plugin that adds a rule that formats content using prettier. Add it to your dev dependencies, then enable the plugin or rule. I would rather do that. ESLint plugin prettier exposes a recommended configuration that configures both ESLint plugin prettier and ESLint config prettier in a single step. Add both of them, and then extend the recommended config. Okay, that's probably what I want then. I don't know though, like I already have a prettier... formatter. So there should also be an ESLint thing. Cool. ESLint's already enabled. Great. Okay, so that's probably fine. The future of TypeScript on ESLint. So here's the other thing, right, is that so before there were two things. There was ESLint, which is what people use for JavaScript, and there was also TSLint, which was the same thing but for TypeScript. So TSLint got deprecated in favor of ESLint. So here, there's an issue here, so I need to figure out what's going on here. This is monorepo for all the tooling which enables ESLint to support TypeScript. Okay, so that's probably what I need to look at. Cool. So what do I do here? So why does this project exist? What about TSLint? Sure. TypeScript produces a different AST format to the one that ESLint requires to work. That means by default, the TypeScript AST is not compatible with the thousands of rules which have been written for the ESLint users. Okay. Okay, so what's the usage here? Getting started docs are here. Great. I want to lint my TypeScript codebase. That's what I want. So first step is to make sure you've added the required packages installed. So we're installing here TypeScript ESLint parser and TypeScript ESLint plugin. Great. Let's go ahead and add those. Let's paste that. Oh, this also adds ESLint, which we already have, but that's fine. And then let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So at the root of your project, so we do have one of these files. So let's just go ahead and make sure the things we have in there are fine. Close out of this. I don't know what the root true thing does. So now we have to specify the parser, which is going to be at TypeScript ESLint. Yep, /parser. And then for plugins, which we have down here, we're going to want to go ahead and add, we'll probably add it first just in case. Should be at TypeScript-ESLint. This is the smallest config file we recommend. There's a lot more you can add to it, but this will be enough to get you started. So the parser tells the ESLint to use the package parser you installed, so it understands TypeScript syntax. Great. This allows the ESLint to upload the plugin. Allows you to use rules within your code base. Extends. Oh, here's the other thing. Sorry. So this will extend the. That should format itself. Cool. So these are the recommended TypeScript linter rules. The rules provided by us in our plugin documentation. So we also need to make an ESLint ignore to tell it to not ESLint some things, or to not lint some things. So let's go ahead and make a dot ESLint ignore. So node modules is on there, which makes sense. We don't want to lint that. And then we don't actually have, I don't think it should lint either iOS or Android because that's not JavaScript code. But other than that, I don't think this matters. I don't think I have anything else that we wanted to not lint. I think that should be fine, yeah. So we don't actually have a what is this? NYC coverage output? Okay, I'll just leave that out for now. I don't know what that's for. We don't actually have a build folder because we're doing React Native, but more traditional TypeScript projects have a dist folder. So with that configured, open a terminal to the root of your project and run the following command, and then that's it. ESLint will lint all JS, JSX, TS, and TSX files within the current folder, and will output the results to your terminal. Great. So we can also get it via our IDE, but let's go ahead and run this. Oh, am I using spaces? Is my prettier set up to use spaces? I thought it was. Tablet is for I mean, I don't actually care. Invalid prettier. What? That should work, right? Okay. So I should be able to fix some of these automatically. So we can run prettier on our. How do I lint my entire thing? Or format my entire thing? Prettier options file glob. So prettier just here, I guess. No matching files, pattern tried. Unequal to that. J or T. S, and then the X is optional. No matches found. What? I don't know if that worked. What did that do? I don't really use prettier from the command line that often. I shouldn't have to specify any format options. Right? I don't think so. So some of these are fixable. -- fix. Great, 121 problems. Okay, we'll want to actually not do the metro.config.js. Like these I don't care about. So anything .config.js I don't care about. Cool. Great, so these are all like in my actual files, so they should show up in my editor. In theory. Yeah, I don't want, do I still have the TSLint extension installed? Because I don't want that. Oh, TSLint deprecated, so let's remove that. We need to reload real quick. Great, lint my code, please. Cool, so it's mostly just warnings and then one error. Where's the error at? Oh, that's this error, which I don't actually know what this error, how this error works, and I've never bothered to fix it, to be honest with you. Slider is defined but never used, really? Is that actually the case? That's not true. Okay, do I have to do something else here? React and React hooks. Plugins jest. Okay, so what are the packages they offer then? So I think the issue, right, is that they're not React-specific linting rules for ESLint, which we have, right? ESLint plugin React. We are using that, correct? ESLint rc.js. We're using React as a plugin. And then use our preset to get reasonable defaults. Sure. Because I'm basically going to go with the recommended ones, and if they have rules I don't like, then I'll just get rid of them. But I'm, like, generally not very, not, like, super hardcore in any of these. It says also that I have JSX, like it knows that that's happening. Let's make sure that our settings thing is getting run correctly. So let's go ahead and show the ESLint status bar icon. React version not specified in ESLint plugin React settings. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we're configuring that correctly. So it seems like it's reading our config. With ESLint 2+, which we're doing this, JSX specific rules. So let's look up ESLint TSX. I think that's the problem, is that my files are in TSX. What's going on, Shuchi? Do I have an uptime command? Is it lowercase u? I don't know. We've been live, regardless, we've been live for just about an hour. How to set up ESLint for TypeScript code. Yeah, so what's going on here? Set up plugins. Yeah, so I've already done that. Figuring ESLint. Remove TSX if you're not working with React. I'm working with React though. That's the only time. The ESLint extension currently doesn't have TypeScript support by default. To enable TypeScript support, you'll need to add some lines to your settings file. These changes can be made globally for code in its settings panel, or you can add them in okay. Oh, do I really have to do this? I don't love that. Package manager. It seems like it's probing TypeScript. ESLint validate. So let's go ahead and set it to this. Just to try it. I don't know what's going on there though. This is where now an extra set of things. Pretty gonna format that. Okay, that's fine. Autofix is enabled by oh, okay. So they're just saying get rid of this part. Oh, default must stay with how development. So yeah, no, we have not done too much tonight. So tonight it's like, in theory, a more boring thing than a lot of other streams. So we're just setting up ESLint right now, which is like, it's just linting and all that jazz. And then today we're going to be diving into testing, because testing is something that if I don't do it right now, I'm never going to do it. So unfortunately, it's not as like thrilling, and I'm not developing much of the app tonight. But yeah. But if you didn't manage to catch yesterday's stream, we now have, if you check out our Trello board, which I have here, we have like a really long list of things that we have to do before we get an MVP done, which is great. So Yeah, that's what we did yesterday. Okay, so TypeScript React, great. Is that going to... Did that help? Okay, well, now it's seemingly not yelling at me as much. Get games is assigned a value but never used, sure. And then this is missing return type on function. Oh, do I have to specify that? Do I want to specify that? I don't know what set form data returns. It returns nothing. I think specifying... I don't specify the function names enough. I probably should. Oh, now they're going to yell at me about semicolons. Okay. This is why I should have the plugin. So we'll just set semicolons to false. I'm not actually opinionated about that at all, to be honest with you. But it expected a semicolon. No. Okay, so we need to turn that off now. Oh my lord. These are such weird little things here. Okay, so rules. So this is what rule is that? Member delimiter style at TypeScript ESLint member delimiter style. Okay, what are the options for this? I should actually look that up. So that's, let's go ahead and close out some of these things. We have a lot of awesome rules that utilize the power of TypeScript's type information that require a little bit of extra setup. Okay, let's go look at that. So there are some all-in config ones. They give you some opinionated ones. ESLint config standard with TypeScript. Okay. Yes, I know it's a large number of packages. Wait, what? Oh, because you have to install this. Oh, I get it. Okay. Oh, this seems way nicer. Are you kidding me? I like that. Linting with type information. The parts that you configured earlier as a little secret. Under the hood, it actually just uses TypeScript's compiler APIs to parse the files. We can provide lint rules with access to all of the type information. That's so fucking cool. Great. I'm into that. Okay, so for the parser options, we need to add tsconfig root dir and dir name and then the project. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Oh. Why is that not... Oh, because it's incorrect. That's why. It's like, why is this not formatting? But that's why. Anyways, so tsconfig root dir is dir name, and then project is tsconfig.json, which is accurate, and that's in, yeah, it's the same depth. So that's, yeah, that's correct too. By including parser options.project in your config, you're essentially asking TypeScript to do a build of your project before ESLint can do its linting. For larger projects, this can take longer. Yeah, that seems fine. Oh, and then most of them consume lint errors through IDE plugins, which there's some caching magic don't suffer the same penalties. Fine, so I'm cool with that. So plugin... So here's some more things that are going to give us. So if that semicolon thing is going to collide, let's just have semicolons be enabled then. I really don't care. Like as I've worked in a professional space where none of this matters, man, like holy shit, this is something I wish I could stress to everyone. Like, we used to have very passionate arguments in school about whether or not tabs or spaces were better, and whether or not, in JavaScript specifically, or like whether or not you should use semicolons. And for 99% of the cases, it truly just doesn't fucking matter. And like once you get into the real world, and like I show up where I work now, we use tabs for indentation on our project. And I remember my first instinct was like, oh god, I have to use tabs. And then after like a few weeks, I was like, this doesn't matter. I just set my editor up to where it uses tabs, and no one fucking cares. And this also helps too that a lot of the people I work with are people who weren't computer science majors in college, but they learned to code afterwards. And so they never had this issue, right? They never, their college experience is never tainted by this idea of you having debates in the fucking computer science lounge about whether tabs or spaces is better. You never had to worry about it. And then I was like, oh, it's like suddenly, who fucking cares? No one cares. Now, that's not to say you can't have preferences about things, right? Like, there are certain stylistic things that I have preferences about. Like, I'm a big fan of putting like spaces after your conditional statements before you put curly braces and all this. But the thing is that if I was given a project that said you have to do things this way, I would just say, okay, whatever. And this is why I think automatic code formatters are beautiful, because I use Prettier, right? And I don't have to think about my formatting. Now, you can set up Prettier to look however the hell you want. It doesn't really matter. But the beautiful thing about Prettier and things like Go format as well, if you code in Go, is this is something I shouldn't be thinking about. I have way more important things to be thinking about than what my code looks like in terms of adding spaces or not. So, like, I would strongly recommend this. If your language you're working with has an automatic code formatter, use it. Holy shit, man. Like, that just shouldn't be something you should even be troubling yourself with, And like, the only thing I do, right, is that I use tabs. I prefer 4-space tablet because I think it's easier to read than 2. And I use tabs. But, like, that's it, man. And, like, the semicolon thing I'm using to avoid errors of the islet. But, I don't know. None of it matters. This is 3 settings I had to check, and then whatever else Prettier does, I don't give a shit about, man. Like, who cares? It's something I wish I want to tell everyone that. I'm like, if you care about this, you probably shouldn't. Because it's probably just preventing you from doing work. And it shouldn't matter. Yeah, exactly. And this is why, like, a Go format is beautiful, right? And, like, Go literally runs... It goes more extreme about it, right, than a lot of other languages, because they run Go format, and, like, Go throws compiler errors if you don't do things stylistically how they want them to, which, like, there could be arguments made for or against that, whatever. But yeah, Go format's this beautiful thing, and it's like, all right, yeah, whenever you compile your code, we're going to format it for you. Fuck yeah, great. What's important, truly, is consistency. Your project should look the same across the project. I think that matters. It doesn't matter the choices you make, really, inside the project, as long as you can expect to see the same thing across the entire project. And again, automatic code formatters solve this issue for you. You have multiple people with multiple styles. Make everything, make it to where people don't have to think about it. Anyways, that's my tirade against people arguing about those sorts of things, because I would say like 99% of them don't matter. Again, not to say you can't have a preference. You can have a preference, but if you're letting that preference like get in the way of you doing work, like instead of you contributing, if you chose not to contribute to an open source library because it uses like 2 spaces instead of 4 tabs, what are you doing? Stop that immediately. My code key, yeah, mine is, I wish I could say mine's gotten cleaner. I think it's better in some ways, but, okay. Cool, you will now see new rules for reporting errors based on type information. Great, so let's look at our check-in thing. Expected a semicolon, sure, whatever. Okay, now you can stop yelling at me. So what's it yelling at me about now? Get games is declared but is never read. Assigned a value but never used, great. So yeah, that's fine. So let's commit this first, actually. So let's go ahead and add this, and then add the package.json and then the yarn lock. And then let's go ahead and say add base ESLint config. Great, and then let's go ahead and do here, and then format project. And apply lint auto fixes. Cool, so now that we've done that, we can just make a quick run through our code base and see how things are looking in terms of warnings. And then we'll just go ahead and clean things up. So this is going to be private as a return type. So this is something that is worth noting if you haven't used TypeScript before. So TypeScript does infer return types. So when I look at check-in, you notice it gives me a tooltip. It'll tell me my parameters. I can't move my mouse, but it'll tell me my parameters, and then it'll tell me what it returns. The reason this linter rule exists here is because there's an argument to be made for explicitly typing out what the return type should be is more readable. Especially if you're using a browser or an editor that doesn't have like TypeScript built-in integration, right? If you're just like editing with like base Vim or something like that, it won't have this information, and it's easier at a glance, right? If I'm just looking at this text file, I can see clearly what this is returning. So there's an argument to be made either way about that, but that's the reasoning behind it. So that's what we're changing about that. Running into a problem where Jupyter will let you run code without saving the file. So when I copy the image, it might be an old file and there's no way to save on run. Oh. I can change the autosave rate to 1 second, add it to a second delay. What a weird little workaround. That's really odd. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. I'm undoing too many things. Oh, it's because I was just pressing the wrong button. Okay, so we have 2 other warnings here. This is also probably missing return type. So navigate, I don't actually know if it returns anything. It doesn't look like it does. Great. Oh yeah, this is an on-press handler, so they almost certainly want to return void. Yeah, and I actually do like this rule. I will say I think it's better. Oh, so the only thing here is that you do have to put parentheses around all of your parameters. Is this yelling at me about? Missing return type and function, yeah. On value change, yes, this is just gonna be void. Now, can I do this? That's all I wanted. No, so I believe I have to have parentheses around this. Yep. Okay, so that's everything there. So we're just gonna go through real quick and go through everything. I think it should be easy enough to fix a lot of this stuff. Missing return type and function. I had the empty brackets there in case I did add return types here. Open photo picker returns void, not void. Open camera also returns void. This is getting so dumb. Your code or this? Okay, and then let's make sure. Expected indentation of 5 tabs, but got. Wait, do they really want that? What? Oh, I kind of hate that. Also, Prettier doesn't do that. All right, I'm disabling the fuck out of that rule. What? Okay, how do I get it to... Yeah, okay, an object option, thank you. Switch cases I want to disable the fuck out of. Forces indentation level for case causes and switch statements. So this is... this rule is enforced, so it's the indent rule. So we're going to go ahead and do ESLint RC. So this will be in the rules. Indent error tab. This rule is a mixed option, for example, two space. Or for tabbed indentation. How do I specify the object option though? I'm a little confused as to... Is it saying that I should be doing this and then switch case should be, I think 1, I believe is what I want here. Configuration for rule indent is value. Okay, that's fine. Is it just the third parameter? Okay, yeah, stop yelling at me. Okay. Yeah, I don't love the fact that it was trying to get switch cases aligned. Weird. I guess you could do that. Yo, Nerdman3321, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Oh, your code. Okay. I was like, are you flaming my code while I'm live? This should be void. I think all these are going to be void anyways, even when I don't implement them. And then remove image, that's fine, we can just comment that out. And then this doesn't have a return type. Render image should return jsx.element. I believe is accurate. And then here on press should have... Man, this is making me a better coder, more responsible. This shouldn't return anything. Why is that yelling at me? E is declared, but its value is never read. Okay, that's fine. Can I still do underscore for that, actually? Yeah, that's probably just gonna tell me to get rid of it. Okay, add location button's the last one, so we're gonna go ahead and just comment that out, because I'm gonna use that later, but both of these, actually. This is also a work in progress code right now anyways, so. And then these are gonna yell at me because these aren't being used, that's fine. All right, that is fixed. Error overlay, this should return a jsx.element. Yeah, this is really making me realize that I have not been slacking on this at work. No explicit any's. I am gonna disable that because, or actually, okay, I shouldn't disable it. I'm just not gonna fix it now. Can I make it a string? Will that compile? I wonder if that's a TypeScript error. That's a good rule to have, but also like, you know, I can just, if it yells at me, that's fine. It'll yell at me to fix it later. I just won't always fix them immediately. Jupyter doesn't autosave, no changes are detected, so I think I'm just gonna keep it at 5 seconds. Oh my goodness. Why is it yelling at me about route? Oh, it's because it's never used. Yeah, that's fine. Can I just auto... No, autofix is available. ESLint. Fix all auto-fixable problems. Everything is just void. Okay, cool. Game search, let's format. This is actually gonna be returning. This is returning an array of games. This is gonna be jsx.element. On press is gonna be void. I should specify, actually, to make my life a little easier here. Arrow parens should be, I believe, always. Yep. So this is parentheses around the parameters of an arrow function. So stylistically, I prefer them not to be there. I think it looks nicer. This is when you have only one parameter. But with this rule that I need to have function return types, the arrow parentheses have to be there. So if you notice, like text and params here, they don't have parentheses around them, which again, I think looks better, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And because I don't know why that's not formatting that actually. But anyways, because I'm requiring function return types, then I have to put parentheses around them. Yeah, I don't know why that's not like doing that for me though. The reason I enabled that, oh, that's not void. The reason I'm doing that is so it would do that for me, but it doesn't look like it's doing that. Yeah, parent to make it more explicit. So like we use parentheses usually at work, and I think it's better for people who are less familiar with things. If you have a larger code base with a lot of people, it's better. This is only me, and I think it looks better. But it's only a problem with TypeScript because you can't specify the return type of an arrow function unless there's parentheses there. It's like, it's just a TypeScript thing. Oh, so this isn't going to work because Apollo error is just not assignable to the type string. So this is my error overlay. I had to type it because he yelled at me about it being in any. Apollo error is what this other type is going to be. Cool. So that'll stop yelling at me. Game search wrapper should be jsx.element. Yeah, if this was only a JavaScript project, I would 100% keep the parentheses off just because, again, I like it. I think it looks better, but dang you, TypeScript. Providing type safety somewhat, but also making me make style decisions I don't want to do. Why is this yelling at me? Oh, okay. So this is yelling because that shouldn't be there. Okay, search modal is next. Should be a few other things. Yeah. Oh, this is just void. Oof, that. That everything? Oh, whoops, these are any's. These should just be return void. Because they're also like event handler things, so they can't return anything anyways, so. All right, that's mostly everything. Now we go to icons, which these. Missing return type. Oh, also I just noticed these are normal functions, which I'm not doing anywhere else in the app. So I should turn these into arrow functions for consistency. Okay, and that's the only thing there. And then, oh, that was the only one? Weird. That's really not consistent then. Okay, and then image icon. Oh, never mind, this one is also const do. Cool. Next, in icons. Search icon. All right. Oh, the arrow is important there. Okay, that should be everything. Cool. Is that all of our files? Almost. Apollo.ts. Weird, I don't know why that wasn't. I am still... Oh, this does not return that. I'm getting so used to everything. This returns a Apollo client, as it says there. Generic type requires one. Oh, I don't actually know. So what is this? Apollo client, normalized cache object, Apollo client objects, or in options. Oh, is it just... Normalized cache object is what it's doing. So this looks a little backwards because I am generating the return types after I am... I've already written the functions, obviously, but I'll start doing it ahead of time from now on, for the most part. App.tsx, I believe, is like the last file we really need to worry about. Our app is going to return JSX element. Great. And then there's an error down here. Export default. Missing return type and functions. Component definition is missing display name. What is that? What? Prevent missing display name in a React component. This name is used by React in debugging messages. Sure. What? I don't know where you specify this. This seems like old. What? JSX sets this value automatically. Yeah, I don't know why that's yelling at me, actually. Is it because I'm returning it as a function here? Why am I doing that also? I think this is a React Native thing, actually, because I don't think I did this, so we'll just do a... What do I do? I can do an ESLint ignore, right? ESLint ignore above a line. Turning off ESLint for a specific line. ESLint disable line. Okay, so I like TypeScripts better, but... Cool. So yeah, I think that's a React Native thing because I don't remember doing that. So if that's the case, then I'm just gonna leave it be. Excuse me. Great. Intro config, whatever. Babel config. I can just format those, but styles. Anything yelling at me here? Nope. Types. Nothing yelling at me here either. Great. Okay, so we went through and we went ahead and on here we went ahead and changed indent rules for switch cases. Anything else I changed here that was actually important? Require arrow. And then this we just cleaned up. This commit will clean up ESLint errors existing in the code already. Great. Okay, so that is everything. So now this is done. I have ESLint. It'll be fine for now. I'll add more rules later if I see fit or change them as they pop up. But I think for the most part, everything should be fine, which is sick. Great, we are ESLinted. Fantastic. Cool, so this means now we can go ahead and move this over here to completed. Yay, we've done it. First card, well, that card has already moved over. First card officially has moved over. So next up is going to be testing, which I'm excited about. We'll probably have to change some ESLint stuff also for Jest, because I think I saw a plugin for that. Before we do that, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, because it's been like an hour and a half, in fact. So I'll be right back. Thanks everyone for sticking around. Yeah, we'll be back in like 5 minutes. Alrighty, we have returned. Okay. Let us get back to it. So, I did a little bit of looking at testing and stuff before getting on stream today. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the article that I was looking at here. Before I do this, however, whenever you make a React Native project, they do include a lot of the stuff is already set up for you to use Jest, which is what we'll be using, just because, I don't know, it's made by Facebook. Facebook makes React Native. I'm willing for the integration, willing to do that. But I was having some issues getting it to run. So all this is doing is rendering our base app correctly. Okay, so I did stash these changes actually, so we'll go ahead and run them just to see what happens. So if we run yarn test, it'll run Jest for us. Jest, if you're not aware, is Facebook's testing library, very similar to like Mocha or Chai, I believe, are like the other two really popular ones. Again, I don't really have a lot of experience with any of these, which is why we're learning. But again, the reason I'm using Test is because Test, from what I understand, integrates fairly well with React Native. So that's the hope, and it's included in the project, so we're just going to use it. So the first problem here is that it's yelling at us about React Native gesture handler. So I did fix this. So I'm actually just going to pop the stash because I don't 100% remember what I did. I'm going to have to discard these changes, and then we'll go ahead and pop the stash. Merge conflicts are fine. Just give me the stash changes. Invalid prettier config file, show log. JSON error in package.json. Oh, did the package.json also get edited? Oh, okay. What did I add here? I added... okay, so we're actually going to copy over this part. And then I'm going to accept what we have currently. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this here. And then we'll delete this. Oof. Okay, so this is... There shouldn't be errors on my JSON now. What was the other thing? So the other issue we have here now is that I need to install these two packages. So just transform stub. One of the engineering teams I'm decided that I'm in decided to use Git for the first time. Yes. More schools should be teaching people Git. That is some kind of version control, right? Like Git's the most popular, but like something. Version control is insanely useful, and also if you're doing like most things, everyone uses it. Like, I don't think Will's here anymore. Will, who watches the stream, discovered Git like a few weeks ago, And I remember him texting me, and he was just like, "This is amazing." He was like, "I can do everything with this. Why have I not been using this forever?" Right? And he's like not a software engineer, so it's good technology. And also, if you're gonna be a software engineer, you're probably gonna use it at your job. Some sort of version control, may not be Git, maybe something else, but fucking everyone, man, everyone uses version control. Or I hope you are, for your own sanity. And so, yeah, I'm thankful that my school, we had a good group of grad students who did a lot of the like curriculum shaping for the CS department. We're basically just like, we're gonna start using Git for everything before we use this like cryptic command called CS submit that would just like send your file off to like a Dropbox somewhere. But no one knew how it worked and whatever. But then they came up with this really cool system, and it's actually all open source. It's super cool if you're like interested in this, and if you're listening now and you're at I have to remember the name of the GitHub repo. So it's github.com/redkin. So it's an entire suite of tools that they worked on, and it's super cool. So what it does is we had a GitLab instance running on our school's server. So if you're not aware, GitLab is another like Git repo hosting service, but GitLab, you can self-host them. So we self-hosted a GitLab instance, and basically everyone was able to, they configured it with our like school's sign-on. So you sign into GitLab with your school info, like your email and password. And what it did is it was able to assign programming homework to students on GitLab. So how it worked basically is that you would give it, and they documented all this, I think, with the intent of other schools using it and such. Basically what happened is you said, okay, I have this assignment in my base repo that I've made as the TA or the professor or whatever. And you have a list of people that are in your class. I think, I never actually did the assigning part, but I think this is the general gist of things, is that you're like, okay, I have this assignment, I have all my students, and what it did is it went ahead and made a repository for each of the students based on your like base homework repository. And the repositories were only visible to that student. You can only see your homework. And it assigns, here we go, the instructor as an owner and each student as a developer. So the students can only see their own repos, but they can, push to the repositories and all that. And then you give it a base repo, which is the homework itself. Super fucking cool. So it gives everyone the homework automatically. You can set it up to like, when they get it. And again, you as the instructor have access to all this. It's super fucking cool. And again, I'll post the GitHub link in chat because this is really cool. And again, it's open source. I don't know if they're still working on it or what the deal is, but I think it's like mostly complete. Hey, it's me. So there's the link if you're interested in looking at all the tools they have. The other thing is graders. So I didn't use this explicitly. I did grade for a class, but if I understand, the whole thing is basically is that you can use Docker containers to take all of the repos for a homework assignment and then run tests against them. So the grad student that I graded for ran, he had like a thing where it would run a bunch of tests against them and would spit out a like homework file for them that was like a LaTeX file. And it would print that out, and then us as graders, we would like take that and then like look at the test output and stuff. Anyways, super cool. Highly recommend looking at this if you're like in a situation where you can use it. Anyways, that was a really long rant. I just remembered it existed, so that was really cool. So Shachi, we are coding, just not developing the app mostly. So today is testing. So testing is not sexy. And we're not really adding new features, but it's still developing on the app, yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool project, and I hope that some other schools are using it or picked it up or something, because it's truly incredible. I think it's one of those things where like they made it because they thought, for all the complaints I had with my computer science department, I think these group of folks who worked on that were just... I had classes with a few of them, and like I said, I graded for one of them, and they were amazing. I really liked them a lot. I think what they've created is a very good piece of software, and I think it works amazingly. And as on both sides of it, I think it's very cool. So Anyways, that was my long thing. But that's how we got to use Git at our school. That was the system they made to where professors could legitimately assign homework over using GitLab and all that. So anyways, back to installing packages, which is what we were doing. So we're adding a dev package of, oh, I copied something else. So this is something I did off stream today. I basically Googled around as to some of the errors I was getting when trying to run these tests and why they weren't working. This is what I came up with. So the first one basically is that the React Native gesture handler, which is a library that React Navigator uses behind the scenes, it requires a jest setup thing, but they don't tell you that. So I Googled that and that runs now. And then the other thing is that apparently Jest doesn't like static resources, so like it yells about images. So this module name mapper stuff and us installing these packages, from my understanding, is basically just trying to fix that problem. Because we have images, I think, somewhere. They might be images from the base React Native thing, because I don't remember adding them. But anyways, so with all that done, now we can run yarn test. And again, all this is doing is seeing if our app can render. That's it. It's not testing anything else, right? But this is like sort of the base, because this is the provided test that it gives us. So, sorry, the other thing that I did that I forgot to mention here is that the other thing it was yelling about is that we do some work before we actually render the app here. So we go ahead and create our Apollo client, which is what we use to make GraphQL requests. And we also create our stack navigator, which is what we use to navigate in the app. And we also, this is used for something, I don't remember. So I think this was causing issues by me not having that, but we're gonna find out. So let's see what's going on here. So perhaps actually the solution for this should be that I should be passing in the client, and this kind of makes sense, right? So the app should receive, it needs a client, it needs a Apollo client. So basically what we need to do is make some props for our base app so that this can be streamlined better. So let's go ahead and make an interface for props here. Let's call it base app props, because we're actually going to export this. Because we're going to use this inside the jest file. So Apollo client is, I believe it's of type Apollo client. And then it's, what do we say? Init Apollo client returns an Apollo client with normalized cache object. And then import default Apollo client from module Apollo client. Sure. What else does it need? It needs a stack navigator. So this is just going to return. Oh, that's kind of a long. So whatever type this is. Okay, so we need a navigator, which is a stack navigator, which is going to be whatever this type is. So that's typed navigator. These types are kind of confusing. Stack navigation params list, as well as stack navigation state. Stack navigation options. And again, I'm just copying this from how this is already set up right now. And then stack navigation event map. Is that it? Requires 5 type arguments. Okay, what's the 5th? And the last one is a function? I don't know what's going on there. So this is a function. Oh, this is like the actual render function, question mark? Do I really want to type that myself? Can I just do this? Yo, what are the props here? So let's just go ahead and look at this. Create stack navigator. Stack navigator. Yeah, that seems kind of confusing. To be honest with you, we're actually just gonna set this to any. And I know that seems like a bad practice here, but like, I think it's fine. This has a really, I'll leave a note for myself here as to why I'm doing that. Complicated type, and it won't ever change since we're just supplying it from the above stack navigator. Now, perhaps that's not a great justification, but we're gonna do it anyways. And then ESLint ignore line, I think. ESLint disable line. So I think this is fine. So then here we're gonna have Apollo client and stack navigator. Actually, we're just gonna name it stack just to maintain some compatibility there. And then this object is gonna be of type props, or of type base app props. And then this should be Apollo client. And then that should just be stack. And then what we're going to do here is that this app now is going to have Apollo client is going to be equal to client, and then stack is going to be equal to stack. Great, so in theory, that's fine. Now let's actually test the app, like, actually running it to make sure that works. Because that's like kind of a shift, and I want to make sure that's not fucking anything up. I don't think it will, but I'm wary. Now, the other thing to do here is that I have my actual phone here, and I discovered yesterday that you actually don't need to pay money to run an iOS app on your actual phone. I don't know why I thought you needed to do that. Maybe at one point you needed to, or maybe I just misremembered. Anyways, regardless, that is something I want to do. And I haven't got this set up. I can actually open Xcode while I'm doing this. I tried to get this set up on the stream, and it was giving me an error, and maybe I'll just try it again. While we're waiting on the other thing to launch. One second, y'all, sorry. Okay, so let's open up this project. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, though, because it's not essential that I get it working on my phone. And, like, also, you can't see it on stream, so... So maybe... Actually, you know, let's just not even worry about it at all. I mean, like, whatever. That's fine. Okay, so this is building. It's taking 10 years. I apologize it's taking 10 years. I hate that Metro Bundler always resizes my console to be that size. Dang it, how do you move this thing again? Move it so my camera doesn't cover it. In the meantime, if you are enjoying the stream and would like to get notifications as whenever I go live, because I don't have like a real consistent schedule, you can follow the stream and get notifications. We also have a Twitter account, or I have a Twitter account, so I'll post on there as well whenever I go live. So that's my shameless plug while we're waiting on this to build. Command failed with exit 1. Uh-oh, what happened? What happened? Did I bork everything? Do I need to go redo pod install? Let's try that. I don't know what happened. How did I bork my build? I hope I don't have to worry about build issues. Okay. Let's hope that's not an issue anymore. Yarn iOS. Hopefully it also doesn't have to rebuild the entire thing, because that took a while. Command failed with execute 1. No! The iOS simulator deployment target is set to 6.0, but the range of supported development target version is 8.0. That's just a warning.
Shameless sub for shameless plug.
Yo, Matt, thanks so much for the resub, dude. 20 months. Holy shit. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with me over months of me not streaming consistently at all. I appreciate it a lot. What is going on here? Failed to build iOS project. We ran Xcode build command, but it exited with error code 65. To debug build logs further, consider building your app with xcode.app by opening tabletop.exe workspace. Run CLI with the verbose flag for more details. Okay, let's go do that. So I guess we are opening Xcode anyways. Maybe we will just build it, because if we can get it to build, it'll build on our phone, hopefully. All right, so we open another project. So make sure I'm doing this correctly. Tabletop. It's an Xcode project, right? XC.workspace, okay. I don't know how Xcode works, so I don't know what the different file types mean. Alright, well, now we get to use the beauty that is Xcode, I guess. I've never used Xcode, but I feel like I hear it get a bad rap most of the time. Okay, tabletop build failed. Let's try that again. Let's try it on just a iPhone 11 is fine. I think that's what we've been using most of the time. Build, please. It's probably gonna fail, but at least it'll tell me why it failed, which means we can Google the error, because I don't know what I'm doing in here. All right, build failed. Great. So that's a warning. Don't care about that as much. Tabletop test.exe test, no such file or directory. What? Okay, why is it trying to do tests? I don't want to do tests. Did I do something that made it want to do tests? Oh god, tabletop tests. Yeah, I don't want that. Create membership. Is it like required? Did I accidentally change something when I was messing with this yesterday? I bet you I did. I bet you I just like accidentally fucked with something. I did commit those changes to those 2 configuration files. Maybe I revert those if this doesn't get fixed immediately? Yeah, why is tabletop test getting built? I just want to build... Yeah, that doesn't seem great. Okay, so general signing and capabilities. Yeah, we messed with that earlier. And then, was it... What was the other thing we messed with? Build settings? Build phases? Check pods, compile sources, build rules. Now, what did I change yesterday? What's going on? Is it Rhymecod? I'm doing social media web about Node.js. Nice, nice. What is yours? What is your app about? Okay. We're not missing. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. So we changed 2 files yesterday. And I don't know why they changed. I'll be honest with you, because I don't know how Xcode works. So we're just gonna go revert them. And we're gonna hope that works. So I did this a few commits ago. Great. Add some Xcode projects. So actually what we need to do is just go, so let's check out, oh, sorry, I should be doing this better. Let's see what we changed. Aha! Here it is. You see how it says something about tabletop tests? I think that's what's fucking it up. The development team, I think, is what we wanted. That's what I set yesterday. Okay, so maybe I need to make those changes. I'll just make them in the config file. Yeah, okay, that seems promising. So this is project.pbx proj. The marketplace has extensions that can help with this. Syntax, Xcode, project data. Cool, we'll take syntax highlighting. And this is exactly why you version control. What is this link? I don't trust this link at all. Is this a screenshot service? Right, Rhymecod? I've literally never seen this domain before. Oh, it's Turkish. Okay. Okay. I apologize. I just got real spooked for a second. I was like, that doesn't seem like something I have seen before. Social day. Nice. Oh, it looks really good. Nice. So, like, what type of social network is it, right? So, like, so what we're doing right now, right, is ours is, like, very specific to board games. Does yours have, like, is it a niche or something, or... It looks really good, though. I'm really bad at designing, so this looks gorgeous. No worries. You have to understand that, you know, when you stream, you get a lot of people who send a lot of shit in your chat. And so I am overly cautious. It is nothing against you. It is more so just I have, you know, this is something when you stream, you train yourself to be overly cautious of anything that shows up. And also, so I didn't open it on my laptop too. So like, just in case things were really bad, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But again, that is nothing against you. That is just that's a reflex there. Okay, so I want to remove anything that says table. So this is on line 22. Yeah, what is tabletop tests? I don't want that. And then there was another place for tabletop tests. That's line 346. Oh, I didn't type that correctly. Oh, did I get rid of that one already? Yeah, so let's look for anywhere it says tabletop tests, because I think that's the issue. Oh, manually editing this is probably like kind of a bad idea. Well, okay, let me just see if that works. So I made one change to it. We'll close out of that and we'll reopen. I don't know if you have to do that. All right, Ryan, God, thanks for stopping by and thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, let's open this again. Hopefully I didn't fuck up the config by manually editing it. That was so fast. Are you kidding me? Cycle independencies between target tabletop tests and tabletop building cannot... Yeah, can you give me that error? What is tabletop test? I don't want that. Yeah, so the problem, right, is that this path doesn't exist, seemingly. Which is fine. So somehow I've added the fact that I've added to the build process that I want it to do that, which is not what I want it to do. What? Enable testability. No. Okay, was that what I needed to change? Yo, what's going on, Dan? How's it going, dude? Fuck! No! Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and change back the change I just made, because I'm gonna assume I fucked something up. So it failed again. But this time, this was the error we got before. So again, it's saying that we don't have a test, but that's fine. Let's say we... Testability, no. Then it shouldn't look for the test. It shouldn't give a shit about that. Fuck, man, come on. Configuration, debug, destination iPhone 11, build target tabletop, copy tabletop test.exe test. How do I get rid of that? So anything that says test, no. I don't want to do anything. Info, configurations for debug. Yeah, now why is this? Yeah, because I can't show this in Finder. And why can't I delete it? Use the release for command line builds. Okay. Swift packages, no. So build settings. Build active architecture only, sure. I literally searched test. I've disabled testability on iOS. Yeah, so like, this is in membership tabletop. I don't want that either. I don't really know what that means, but same error. Cycle and dependencies between target tabletop test and tabletop building can produce unreliable results. Okay. So that has something to do with the thing I just checked. I don't know what the cycle is here, man. It should only... Okay, I'm just gonna reset my config files. I don't know what I changed here. This is really frustrating though, because like I feel like I didn't do anything. Okay, so now there's probably a better, more Git-friendly way to do this, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm gonna go here, browse files, and then we're gonna go to that file, which is in tabletop iOS, tabletop.xcode proj, and then project pvx proj. Is that accurate? Yep. So again, this is kind of a shitty way to do this, and I'm sure there's a better way, but I don't really care. Oh, that's actually gonna do the exact same thing, right? I think. So we're gonna save that, copy this, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I don't know if that's probably gonna yell at me, so I'm gonna reset the files before I. So I just changed a few things. I think it got rid of my development team, which is fine. I'll add that in later. Yeah, that's fine. I must have just accidentally changed something when I was doing the development team part. Okay, and then the other thing I needed to change to this other file, which was iOS tabletop info.plist. Info.plist, great, and then we can raw select. Then this should all be deleted. Great. Okay, so that should be the reverts we had to do. So now the other thing I'm gonna go do is go reinstall so if I cd into iOS and pod install. So let's go ahead and reinstall the pods just to make sure that doesn't do anything. I don't know. I don't know how much that matters. Pod installation complete. Now we do yarn iOS. Hopefully it builds. Jesus Christ. I should have built it in Xcode, but this is fine. Okay. Bless. This is why you have version control. It's this example right here. This could have taken me fucking an hour or two to unfuck my build. But all I had to do was say, hey, I committed this change yesterday, or today actually, but oh my god. Okay. Thank the Lord, our app is building. Now we can go see our changes we made earlier related to testing stuff actually broke anything. Holy shit, man. What a ride. I'm going to commit this now before I mess anything else up. So, pod file lock, info.plist, project, contents, sure. Fix iOS build that I accidentally broke. Fantastic. You love to see it. Network request failed. That's normal because we haven't started our server. So that should be... I haven't had to do that. This should be yarn start. Great. Our server's gonna be running. Fantastic. Oh, yes, we have an app again. Holy shit. Okay. Amazing. Now I want to see if I can run it on my phone. I'm gonna push my luck once again and try and see if I can fuck with the build. But the other good news is the change we made related to adding props to app didn't fuck up the app either, which is great. So, can I build Tabltop for my phone? No. Oh, that was yesterday. Build failed. It requires a development team. So I know how to do this now. Before I was like, where's the signing capabilities editor? But we figured that out, I think. Signing capabilities, team, my team, and then org.my name. I don't know if that matters. Great. Now let's see. This is the thing that may have messed up the build. Signing for tabletop tests requires a development team. Is it because I'm building it for my phone? Is that why it messes it up? This is not a good search term. Running on device. Oh, great. There's a docs thing on here. Project, select your team. Great. And then it says repeat this for tabletop tests. So I have to go here and then tabletop tests. Team, bonk. Great. Now can I run it? I should really just follow the docs because they probably tell me how to do things that are helpful. One would think that I would read the docs. Holy shit, is this actually working? This got farther than it did last night, I think. I'm getting too optimistic here. The build always fails. I just want my app on my phone. Is that too much to ask for? Now, of course, this isn't going to work, actually, because it's not going to be able to communicate with the server on my phone. So it's actually useless. Oh, man. So that's actually something worth noting in the Trello board, that I have... figure out backup in... Okay, I actually need to put a card here for... I need to put a card in here for add ability to deploy the API server. And this needs to go actually fairly high because I actually need to... I'm actually probably going to do this like before I do anything else. And the reason I need that is because if I want to test this on actual devices, which is something I want to do, then I need this to be available. Could not launch Tabletop. Verify the developer app certificate for your account is trusted on your device. Okay, go to my phone, settings, general, device management, Apple development, trust. Well, that's promising. Apps from whatever are trusted on this phone and will be trusted with all apps. Okay. Oh shit, it added. I don't know, it's still saying it's building it because it's on my phone. I don't have an icon. That's something I need to do. Oh, that's another thing I need to add somewhere in here. Logo. Either make one myself or pay someone to do it. Probably the latter. I'm not good at graphic design. That probably needs to happen before I go through the developer. Oh shit! It's launching. Oh, and there's the error because I can't connect to my server. Yes. It fails on my phone. Wow, this is actually like really nice though. Yeah, here we go. Feed error loading data, baby. If you can see that. There you go. It failed. Why is that? Do you all see that? That like light flashes on my phone when I stick it up to the camera. That is not visible. Like, I can't see that. That's kind of cool. Anyways. So it can run on my phone. That's neat. It doesn't work right now, but... Failed successfully, indeed. Anyways, okay, we've gotten incredibly off track here. I should make a note that I need to be able to do this so that I can test the app on physical devices, which I want to do sooner rather than later. It's also easier, I think. I like having it on physical devices. Oh, it's aim for a distance sensor. Neat. I didn't know my webcam picked that up. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's an ambulance/fire truck. All right, cool. Back to testing. So where we were all at before this is that we were changing our app slightly to take props. That worked, seemingly. So now what that means is that in our test file, we can pass app with actually, why is this not? Oh, wait a second. I am a dummy. When it imports app, it actually imports the app. I think what I just did was actually kind of unnecessary. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I really think it was unnecessary, actually. Anyways, we'll see if this works. I think what I did was a waste of time, though. Okay, what's the issue here? Test suite failed to run, invariant violation, fetch is not found globally, and no fetch or pass. To fix passive fetch for your environment, like package node fetch. For example, import fetch from node fetch, import creates HTTP link from link HTTP. So this happened in init apollo client.apollo.ts. Oh, so it's trying to do the Apollo client thing. Why has that never yelled at me before? Why is that only an issue here? So let's go check out, I want to make sure there's no like docs about this. So let's go check out React Native, or actually this is in Apollo client. Writing tests for Apollo client in React. There's an application that mocks the Apollo client. That probably makes sense. So what I actually want to do is see if the Apollo... Oh god, this is so bright, I apologize. Development and testing. Testing React components. Running tests against code meant for production is long way to best practice. Sure. The following examples use the just testing framework. Great, that's what I want. Cool, so all testing utilities can be found in their own Apollo or React testing package. Great. So consider the component below, which makes a basic query and displays its results. That's basically what we're doing, actually. Given the component, let's try and render it inside of a test just to make sure there are no render errors. This will produce an error because Apollo client isn't available in the context where use query hope to consume. In order to fix this, we could wrap the component in an Apollo provider and pass an instance. However, this will cause the test to run against an actual backend, which we don't want. Right. So the Apollo React testing package exports a mocked provider component. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this first. So there should be yarn add, and this is a dev dependency. Not that the dev dependency distinction matters here, but I'm gonna slouch back a little bit so I can scoot my camera now. Great, so that now gives us access to a mocked provider component. By using this, it's possible to specify the exact results that should be returned for a certain query using the mocks prop. Oh. So this actually isn't useful for the app, but this will be useful for, actually game search is probably what we want here. So if we try and make a game search wrapper test, so let's do that first. Okay, so what am I having to do with the test here? I don't know what that's for. So it renders correctly, so we just need to do a renderer from React test renderer. And then import React from React. And then it renders correctly, and then we do render dot, is it create? Right, is that what they're doing here? Oh, they're doing this inside of a callback function. So render.create needs to work on, it needs to create a game search. Game search, I believe, doesn't have any. Maybe it has params. Import default. Oh, sorry, game search wrapper is what we want here, actually. So game search wrapper. Oh yeah, so this is the hard part, is we also need to mock navigation. There are a lot of moving pieces here. So let's look at React navigation. And let's look at, they hopefully have an article in their docs about testing. Type checking, calling a function, more resources. I also have this article that I was reading. Let's see if this article offers anything. Creating our first test, doing more with snapshots, test rendering connected components, the better ways to mock the state. Let's just Google around for this, actually. So React navigation with jest. That was two E's. Is my E switch repeating? Hope not. Testing component that uses React navigation with jest. I'm working on a React native application that also uses Redux and I want to write test suggest, I'm not able to mock the navigation prop that is added. Sure. Try to pass navigation directly via props. Oh, so jest just allows you to mock functions? Okay, so navigation is navigate. Okay, so let's try that. So const navigation is equal to navigate, which is going to be just.fn. And then we can go ahead and pass. Oof. Control space is what I want. Navigation is navigation. Great. Type navigate jest.mock is not assignable to type stack navigation prop. See, now this is confusing, right? Because why? Should I go read jest stocks? That's probably what we should do here. Oh man. See, this is why I was so nervous about doing this, because I literally know nothing about this, man. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started, or let's go to docs. We want to go ahead and do... We want to test React Native apps. So, just preset React Native. I believe we've done this. Package JSON, let's go into our package here. So if we go to jest, preset is already set to React Native. Great. So, does just also work with TypeScript though? It should, right? Yarn test suggest. Preset configuration. Transform ignore patterns can be used to whitelist or blacklist files from being transformed. Great. Setup files, module name wrapper. Mock native modules. Okay, how do I use just with TypeScript? Because that's really the issue here. Because it's yelling at me because the type is incorrect, but the type doesn't really need to be correct here because it's a test. TypeScript jest, JS test. What is RIP tutorial? I've never seen this website before. Jest is famous JavaScript testing framework by Facebook with TS Jest can be used to test TypeScript code. So it's a separate package. It lets you use Jest to test projects written in TypeScript. It supports all features of TypeScript, including type checking. We're not doing semantic versioning. Oof. Prerequisites that requires Jest in TypeScript. Let's go to the GitHub page for this. I want to make sure this is what I want before I go ahead and just install it. You didn't really follow the Stack Overflow example you brought up? So, yeah, so, sorry, to be clear here, some of it I should do, right? Because, also some of it doesn't apply to me, right? Because they're doing, they're using Redux, which I'm not. The relevant part, right, is that I have a navigation prop as required, and I'm not doing it. The problem here is that because I'm using TypeScript, even though I'm able to take this, oh, I guess they're using mock store. So this is because they're using Redux. So I don't have to do this. I just need to pass the prop. I think. That's my caveat here is I don't actually know what I'm doing. I think I just have to pass the prop. Now the problem is this in theory should just... Wait, hold on. Let me see. Can I do just dot... creates a mock function. Yeah, the problem is that I'm trying to mock this. The const is inside the renderer. Sorry, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying here. Like, this is inside the it part, sure. I don't think that matters, though. I could be wrong. Because that's not the error I'm getting, right? That's not really what I'm concerned with here. That should be this one. So, like, we could put... oh, shoot, sorry, So if we did this, const navigation, and then change it back to navigate, which is, I think, what we're using this for, to just that function. So this is still going to give us an error, because, again, this is a TypeScript error, not necessarily a JavaScript error. Now, like, you know, maybe I should just be writing this in, like, can I change this to JSX and this works fine? This might actually work fine. You're getting question 9, sir. Well, right, sorry, but, like, this part's the same. I guess I'm not really understanding what you're saying here. Because I'm not following all of the Stack Overflow answer. It's not, most of it's not directly applicable to what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, I think it's TypeScript. Now, I would like to use TypeScript with my tests, like maybe I just shouldn't. So I guess one way of testing this, right, is that maybe I should, I'm going to go ahead and comment this out right now so it only runs our other tests. So it's going to run our game search wrapper test, and it's probably going to fail because we're not mocking Apollo yet. Test we failed to run, cannot use import statement outside a module. What? Why is that? Do I have to have this up here? I don't think so, right? I think this is flow. Yeah, so now our thing's gonna get really weird because I'm not using... Yeah, that's really weird. I don't want that. Oh, then I forgot to put a closing curly brace here. Which, this doesn't matter, right? I just shouldn't have. And this should be just.fn. Can I find the client and the context are passed as an option? Well, this is what I wanted. Okay. So this is actually encouraging. Maybe I can actually just ignore these errors. So, okay, this is encouraging because this I expect. This is saying there's no Apollo provider, which is what we were following the Apollo tutorial for. So I'm going to roll forward with that and ignore that other project right now. So, where were we here? Okay, so it provides a mocks provider. So we need to go ahead and import mocks provider from Apollo testing. Great, so now we have a mocks provider. Let's see, so these const mocks, we can use mock providers. It has a request, so we need to make a variable called mocks. We'll name it Apollo mocks, just to be clear here. So this is an array, and it takes an object, and then request is... so our query that we need to mock is, so in game search wrapper, our query is get games. And then there aren't any variables, I don't think. Oh no, there is a query. So the component and the query need to be exported. That's an important thing they say there. So we have to do this, export const, get games, and then inside the test, we're gonna go ahead and need to import that. So now we provide a variable for the query. Variables. And then after that, after the request, we can define what the result's going to be. So it's going to be data. And then let's make sure that is... So it gives us data, and then it's search games is the name of it. It's going to be an array. And then in here, it's going to have... what am I requesting here? ID, name, publisher, year published. And I'll actually just go ahead and take this data straight from our server, because that's where we're storing this test data. And then go ahead and yank this. And then what did I say it was? So it's ID, name, publisher, year published, and thumbnail URL. So we can delete these last things. So that's the result it should give us. Cool. And then that looks like it's it. And then render.create. So we wrap our game search wrapper in a... let's go ahead and indent this so it's a little easier to read. So this should have it's mocked provider, and then mocks is our Apollo mocks object. Great. So the mocks array takes an object with specific requests and their associated results. When the provider receives a get.dog query with matching variables, it returns the corresponding object from the result key. A result may alternatively be a function returning the object. Oh, so okay, that's the only issue here, is that game search wrapper query is going to start out as a string though, or as an empty string. So I could add a so what we could do is interface props extends base props. And then we could add query as a string. And the reason this would be useful is we can control what query we're testing for. Yeah, because well, when it's a okay. Actually, no, this is unnecessary. So the beauty of the mock is we can just say that whenever it gets an empty query, it'll still return an object. So like this isn't correct, right? Like if you're not searching for anything, it's not actually going to display anything, but that's fine. So the default query is going to be a string. So the GraphQL query we're going to try is with this empty string. And for that, we're just going to return one thing to basically have an object that we can test against. So I think that should be correct. So let's go ahead and test it. It's still going to yell at us about that. Expecting a parsed GraphQL document. Perhaps you need to wrap the query in a GQL tag. The above error Invariant violation. Expecting a parsed GraphQL document. Perhaps you need to wrap the query string in a GQL tag. Is that saying that the query is bad? Did you mean to use import get games from game search wrapper? Oh, whoops. Oh, I fucked that up. That's why. Sorry, I was like, what's going on there? Okay, that was just because I deleted that accidentally. I undid way too many, one too many times. Attempted to log missing field type name. Oh my god. When testing code that causes React state updates should be wrapped into act. Okay. This ensures that you're testing the behavior the user would see in the browser. We'll learn more here. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Attempted to log missing field type name. So how does act work? Is that ingest? Let's go ahead and search for that. Yeah, what is that in reference to? Wrap any code rendering and triggering updates to your components into act calls. Ensures that behavior in your test matches what happens in the browser more closely by executing pending use effects by returning. This also reduces the amount of re-renders done. So if I call act, oops, that's not what I want to do. Add act to existing import. So what does act take as a parameter? Act takes a callback. So let's go ahead and see. So this is testing hooks, which is why this is an issue. Okay, so this ensures the behavior in your test matches what happens in the browser more closely. So we're at wrap act. Okay, so inside act, we do the render, is what it looks like. So, so inside here, we go ahead and this is our callback. And then we go ahead and make okay, so why is this yelling at me now? No overload matches this call. React test render is missing the following properties. React test render is not assignable to type void. So oh, I don't know what I just did there. React native testing hooks. Native testing library is an implementation of the well-known testing library API that works for React Native API. React Native. Primary goal is to mimic the testing library API as closely as possible. So function example, test examples of some things. You go ahead and render an example. Oh, well, part of the reason might be that result is actually a callback. Before we fuck with anything, let's see what's going on there, and there should be an extra parentheses here now. I didn't notice that. So result should be... Result should be a function and that actually returns something. I did not notice that before, and that's kind of a subtle thing. Missing return type on function. Get out of my life. Probably want to disable linting in my tests, because that could be annoying. Okay, let's try that. That might have been the issue, regardless. Might have been a red herring. Nope. Just it and test must return either a promise or undefined. And it's not doing that. An update to game search wrapper inside a test was not wrapped in act. Okay. So that's fine. So again, well, let's try this. We'll try what I was doing again. So act. Maybe, again, this is an issue of it's giving me TypeScript errors and I should just ignore them. So this gives me a callback, and then in the callback I should do this. Oh, that's actually wrong. Oh god, I really fucked up the parentheses on that. Okay, so render, create, inside act. Oh, why is that not yelling at me like it was before? Anyways, okay, this is fine. Okay, so maybe I don't know what I messed up before there. Anyways. Okay, it's still test suites 1 failed, 1 passed. Oh, did it work? Do not await the result of calling act with sync logic. It is not a promise. Okay, I don't know what. So cannot log after tests are done. Did you forget to wait for something async in your test? I don't know. Did I? So now let's go take a look at the testing hooks. So test first render and effect. So this uses react.dom render though, right, is the only issue. To reduce the boilerplate, I recommend using React testing library, which is designed to encourage writing tests that use your components as the end users do. Okay, so what is this? This is built on top of DOM testing library for... Oh, this is... Isn't this... This is Kent C. Dodd's... Yeah, his testing library. Yeah, okay. I follow him on Twitter. And apparently his testing thing is really good. So you want to write maintainable tests for your React components. As part of this goal, you want your test to avoid including implementation details of your components and rather focus on making your tests give you the confidence for which they are intended. As part of this, you want your test space to be maintainable in the long run through refactors to your components. Don't break your tests and slow you and your team down. Provides light utility functions on top of React DOM and React DOM test utils in a way that encourages better testing practices. What this library is not, it's not a test runner, which is what Jest is. So let's go look at an example. So jest.mock Axios, and then test loads and displays greeting. Do I literally just need to say that this is async? Well, no, because I'm not awaiting it. So it's calling render, and then it's just rendering a thing. Or is this just because it's yelling at me after my test is done? Attempted to log missing field type name in this. Buffered console warn. So let's look up this. Let's look up this error first. I think it might actually just be yelling because there's an attempt to log after the test is finished running. That's not what I want. Let me go through the rest of this article then. Okay, so you may notice the prop being passed a Mox provider called add type name. That's what I'm missing. Jesus Christ, Reno. You know, reading things would be helpful in almost every situation. So yeah, so it passed. It just is doing something afterwards. So now this is confusing because something definitely is happening here, right? So we got rid of the one Apollo related error, which is related to what I think I just changed. This is saying here, attempted to log, warning, an update to game search wrapper inside a test was not wrapped in act. When testing, code that causes React state updates should be wrapped into act. I wrapped it in act. What? Like, do I need to await this? Is that... Right, this is renderer from... Let's look up the docs for React test renderer. React test renderer. Like, do I have to async it? What's going on here? This package provides a React renderer that can be used to render React components to pure JavaScript objects without depending on the DOM or a native mobile environment. Essentially, this package makes it easy to grab a snapshot of a platform view hierarchy rendered by React DOM or React Native component while using a browser. Okay. Okay. Oh wow, look at this. So I keep reading then. Const component render.create. Const tree is component to JSON. Expect to contain loading. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, or actually I want to test the final state. That's what I care about. But let's do this first. This is a good intermediary. Okay. So oh, or you just await it. Is that the fucking... Is that everything? You just wait for a response, and then you... Is that literally all I have to do? And also, do I even need act? Because their example is not using act. Okay, so we're gonna make this, we're gonna try to do what they're doing in the example, because that's how you should do things. So we're making an async function. Error, okay, yeah, it's only me because I'm not using await. That's fine. So now we're going to await. What are they doing? They're awaiting wait 0. So we're waiting. So this is an Apollo thing. And then yeah, I don't actually want to do anything past that. I just want it to await. Because then hopefully it'll stop yelling at me. It's still not yelling at me. Fuck. An update to game search wrapper. Fire events that update state. Okay. So now maybe we should... If you use React test rendered elsewhere, then Act exports behaves the same way. In game search wrapper, in a Paul provider, in Mac provider. I'm confused as to why their example is working though. What is this? That's not right. Oh, so they're saying it may take longer. Okay, well, let's try increasing it. I assume this is just seconds. We'll just take 3 seconds. That's fine. Let's bump it up to 10, all right? This is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna bump it up to 10. We're gonna see if that solves it. If not, that's fine. Command 12 with exit code 1. So now it's yelling because we're not... Oh, it's milliseconds. Oh, I'm a dumbass. So I don't know if this is necessary, but like, let's do... Oh, jeez. Okay, it's still gonna yell at me every time, so let's try act. Let's try throwing an act then. So again, act is gonna require a callback function here, and then we're gonna stick this inside of that, and then this gets deleted. Okay. So, like, in theory, this works? I don't know, though. Okay, so why is this yelling at me? So... Is it because this is an issue? That might be the problem. Let me try testing something that isn't the autocomplete. Okay, we're gonna try something else. So let's go ahead and do feed.tsx. Feed actually is pretty easy because feed's not actually doing anything right now. It's like pretty simple. We are getting posts, so it is actually mocking. I still need to mock something, but that should be easier. And the reason I think it might be this is because I do get this message every time because I'm using an autocomplete library and they're using component will receive props, and I really just need to fork it and fix it so it stops yelling at me. But it's fine, I think. So let's go ahead and make this should be feed-test. So this is gonna have the same basically imports as this. So except for this one, instead it's gonna have renders correctly. And then we're gonna go ahead and do renderer.create And this is going to be mocked provider. Mocks is going to be nothing for now. And then add type name is going to be false. And then inside mocked provider, we need to render feed. And then feed needs navigation, but I'm just going to do just.mock. Or maybe I don't need to provide it anything. Let's see what happens when I don't provide it anything. Maybe that just works, you know? So we have 3 test suites, great. Oh, feed just worked. This one took a long time because I'm awaiting it. So the other thing to try here, the only other difference between these two, well, for one, is that it seems like I can just ignore TypeScript errors. So I can just not pass at the navigation. I like Jess's interface though. This is nice. I like this a lot. So the game search took a while. I think it's this, man. And we can test this, right? So if we go into node modules and then it's I think React Native autocomplete. And then we go in here and it's using, what is it yelling at me about? Component will receive props. Yeah. Oh. So now, what has it been renamed to? I think it's been renamed to like unsaved component will receive props. Yeah. Yep. So I think I just have to do this, and I wonder if I do that, if it'll work. Yo, what's up, Will? 3.5 hours on a session 0. Hell yeah, dude. That's really good to hear. The stream has been good. This is slightly frustrating, but it's been good overall. I feel like we've made progress. Okay, so this is good. I've confirmed that the issue is not what happened before. Oh, is it because it's the... God damn it, it's because of the console error. Where am I console erroring? Am I doing that in Game Search Wrapper? Am I console not erroring anywhere? I mean, check in optional items I am. I can comment these out, but I don't think they're getting fired right now, which is confusing. So it's still yelling at me. Oh, why is this? Oh, Jesus Christ. No more mocked responses for the query. Okay, so maybe I should mock my responses. So, I have way too many fucking files open. I have way too many tabs open too. So, game search wrapper test. We do have mocks for this. This should be Apollo mocks. Let's go and run this again. Oh, sheesh, man. That's better? Question mark? Yeah, it's yelling at me about feed. So it's yelling about mocks there. So const mocks. This is an array, and then object, and then the request is. How did I set this up? Great. The request, you give it the query, which is get posts. There are no params as of right, or no variables as of right now. There will be variables soon, and then the response is a function. This returns data, and then what's that data called? Is it just posts? I think it's posts. And then that is actually, we can grab the test data from that. It requires an author. Which should be this. So this is just me copying test data over that I already have on my like GraphQL server right now. Otherwise, I could just like mock this up. I wonder if I put an empty object, if it'll yell at me. Let's try. And then this goes in the mocks. It'll stop yelling at us about that our component is trying to call something and I don't have a response for it. Oh. An update to feed inside a test was not wrapped in act. No! When testing code that causes React state updates should be wrapped into act. Oh, sweet Lord Jesus. It's got to be something to do with Apollo. Do I have a component that doesn't do Apollo? Because I'm almost positive that's what the issue is here. Well, game search uses the client, but doesn't actually do... Let me try that. So the reason we're trying this is because in theory, I think game search doesn't actually require much because so let's make a new test. It renders properly. So soon we'll actually be able to make meaningful tests, right? Because these aren't actually doing anything for us right now. So render.create, then we're going to create game search, and then games, we'll just give it an empty array for now. And then I don't remember what else it's supposed to get. On game select, so we can just do just.function. And then on text change, also just.fn. Query doesn't matter, I don't think. Okay, so let's try that. I think that should just work. The other ones are going to fail, which is kind of expected. So let's go ahead and try and only run game search. So I think there's a jest extension. So let's try that. I only want to run a single search. Starting jest in watch mode failed too many times, have been stopped. Consider this workspace failed. Okay. I don't know what that means. Jest command not found. Oof. Do I have to add a globally? Yarn global add jest. Is that why it's yelling at me? So if this ideally allows me to just press a button and run a just test, that would be fantastic. That is what I want. god, I've already been alive for 3 hours. Jesus. What a thrilling Friday night, truly. Restart runner. See if it works. Oh shit, does it just run it? Like literally in? Oh. That's fucking sick. Are you kidding me? What? It just runs it? What? That's absolutely crazy, dude. Okay, so now we can actually just like uncomment out this and try and see if we can see why this isn't working. It just automatically runs the test. Oh. The test is not running yet due to just only running tests related to changes. Wait, so if I change my app, it'll... Are you kidding me? Okay, what can we change here? Let's change, title, check in, nerd. That's obviously false, but... Is it then... Is it running my test now? Or is it... Okay, how do I actually just want to run the test. Oh, run and debug it? Are you kidding me, dude? This is like the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. So presumably it's running my tests. Test suite failed to run. Okay, so now we have this fetch issue again. And why is this? Is this because I'm not mocking? So I think this is probably because I need to have a, if I did a... So I think the reason this is failing actually is because it's rendering the feed, which the feed then uses GraphQL to get posts. And so I'm not mocking the posts. So if we go ahead and look at our feed test, and in this way, actually, I think we can see that the app test is almost completely useless. So if we go ahead and copy this mocks variable, and then put it into here, and then format that. And then what we go ahead and do is import get posts, and then we, around app, we go ahead and mock a mocked provider. And it's still gonna yell at me about, you know, things happening after the test, which I don't really know how to fix yet. And then mocked provider, we can give it the mocks of mocks. And then, oh, that's not what I wanted. And then also add type name, we can do false. And then mock provider presumably has gotten auto imported. Great. Now if we run this, how do we manually run test? Start runner. Started just press escape to hide this message. Oh, that doesn't work. Is this still an issue? Why is this still failing? One failed. App test. Oh, okay, that's right. So this is failing because it's trying to create an Apollo. So the reason this is an issue is because it's trying to create a new Apollo thing. So I shouldn't be rendering app in this situation. I shouldn't be testing it. Because the reason I don't want to do that is because what app is doing is it's setting up our navigation. It's setting up our GraphQL library. And I don't care about any of that. Because those things we should be doing in tests anyways. So now this just renders my tests for me. That's so fucking cool. Holy shit. Okay, so I think that makes sense. And I actually think that, to be honest with you, all these changes I made to app I don't think actually are needed at all. We're gonna discard all of them. I don't think they're needed. I thought they were needed, but I think I was wrong. And it automatically runs my tests on changes. God, that's beautiful. Dude, what the fuck, man? This VS Code extension, I think, just made me want to write tests so much more. This is all it took. So let's go ahead and commit this. So I'm doing... so the Xcode stuff, first off, this is... this commit will allow app to be run on a device. And then everything else here is, in some way or another, this commit will add initial testing to some components. These tests aren't useful yet, but we are able to mock some things and get them to pass. Fuck yeah. Okay, so I feel pretty good about that. So there are obviously still some things I need to do, and none of these tests are useful, like I just said in the commit message. They're just testing whether they can render, but like what we need to be doing is using has snapshot features to where we can be asserting that things are happening. So for example, with the game search, right, if we say the query for game search to return a game called Wingspan, we should verify that that game is getting displayed correctly. Like that's where the test actually become useful. But I think considering the progress we've made and considering it's been like 3.5 hours now, I think this is a good place to call it quits for the night. Just in terms of, I think we've made a lot of progress on this, and I'm probably going to work a little bit off stream to like try and figure out some of these issues and look up like, there's a broader question of not so much the technical side of testing, but like what should I be testing and how should I be testing it? And I think there are some things I can look up as to how I should be doing that. So with that in mind, I'm probably going to call the stream here just because it's been a little bit and it's Friday night. I'm going to go play video games, being completely transparent here. I would expect another stream this weekend. I've just been trying to kick myself in the butt and start streaming more because I get work done when I do it. And I really want to make some progress on this. I feel pretty motivated after yesterday. So anyways, that's all my rambling. If you are interested in watching another stream, consider following either on Twitch and or on Twitter or both. I will post on Twitter when I go live, and as well as you'll get notifications on Twitch if I go live. Also consider joining. We have a Discord server that you can hang out in after the stream and all that jazz. I will also post on there when I'm going live, if that's easier for you to keep track of. As well as if you're a subscriber or not, the emotes and stuff are available on the Discord server if you care about that. So, but regardless, it's a good place to hang out after the stream is ended. And I'm trying to be better about posting there. I'd like to be able to start posting more tabletop stuff there if I'm working off stream, that sort of thing. Anyways, that's my spiel for the night. I hope everyone has a great rest of their night and a great weekend. Hopefully I see you either today or tomorrow or the day after, but who the F knows? So we'll just we'll see how that goes, I guess. Like I said, hope everyone has a great rest of your night, and I'll see you all later. Night, Matt. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and I'll see you all later.